First, we had President Trump coming and telling the Islamic Republic either open the Strait of Hormuz or there are going to be major consequences. And then we had the Islamic Republic coming out and saying, actually, the Strait of Hormuz is now completely closed. Then we were waiting to see what the Americans are going to do. And then President Trump came out and said, we're going to open the Strait of Hormuz. The blockade is back. And also, we're going to be charging 20% ourselves, 20% toll for the ship for basically providing security for the ships going through. So President Trump was saying that we're going to be collecting the tolls, not the Islamic Republic, which was something that all of us predicted would not be happening. The whole issue that we have with the Islamic Republic is that you can't collect tolls at natural waterways, and we thought that this is probably something one of those other things that President Trump was exaggerating about. And then I don't know the art of the deal, mind games. I don't know what it is, 5D chess, whatever. But we knew that 20% toll is not a real thing, and probably would not happen. And yep, so less than 24 hours after, I mean, like, right about 24 hours after, he came and in his meeting with the Prime Minister of Iraq, Ali Zaidi, he did a reversal on the reimbursement fee on the cargoes passing. I mean, 20. Even if you want to collect a toll, 20% is what makes it any trade through the Strait of Hormuz unprofitable. 20% is like really, really high. But he officially scrapped it in the meeting during his remark alongside Iraqi Prime Minister. And he here's a direct quote. He said, "I don't think anybody should be able to charge a fee," which is true. I agree. I'm saying I don't like the concept of a fee, but at the same time, it's not fair that we are protecting the strait for the entire world, for China and everyone. That's true. That it's not fair to the Americans that they're providing security to these ships going for the whole world, without the whole world, paying for it. Like, this is free security. There should be, the Americans shouldn't be. I think a lot of countries are leeching off of America's military. That is unfair to the Americans. That's also true. It is also true that Iraq. One thing I forgot to mention is that when he said that we're going to be collecting a 20% fee, Arakchi, the foreign minister of the Islamic Republic, came out and said, I actually agree with POTUS. This is the first time that the foreign minister of the Islamic Republic posted on X saying that he agrees with President Trump. Let me see if I could find his post directly. He basically, as we expected, the Islamic Republic was trying to take full advantage of that. This is exactly what he said right after President Trump posted on Truth Social. Abbas Araghchi posted this. He's saying, POTUS is absolutely right. Whoever provides secure and safe passage of commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz should be compensated for this service. So, see, this is, by the way, this is not right. This is an international natural waterway. Nobody should be collecting any fees, right? And here's the ridiculous part. Then he continued by saying, Iran has always been the guardian of the strait and will remain so forever. So the people who are attacking ships at the Strait of Hormuz, providing lack of security, basically being the source of instability in the Strait of Hormuz, are claiming that they are the guardian of the Strait of Hormuz. Somebody needs to ask them, who are you? Like, what are you guarding against? You are the threat. This is not being a guardian. This is extortion. This is how the mafia works. Pay us or else we'll F you up. That's how the mafia works. That is not you being a guardian, right? And he said 20% is, of course, too much. We will be fair. That's what he said. So President Trump came out and went a reversal on that, but he did say this. He replaced the fee with investments. Uh, this is his quote during the meeting with the Prime Minister of Iraq. Said, based on highly productive conversations with the Middle East leadership, I have decided to replace the 20% United States reimbursement fee with trade and investment deals that the various Gulf states, he means Persian Gulf states will be making into the United States. So here's the thing. First of all, these countries always make promises. We'll invest in this, we'll invest in that. This is just, you shouldn't. It means nothing. It means nothing what these countries say until they actually do something, right? These are the same countries that they said they're gonna make a city that is the line. It's a line. Like, they just go look at the Neon project. These people's words are worthless unless they actually do something. Also, Monkey had a great point. We don't want your investment. We shouldn't want your investment in the United States, as if it's in media and education, because you guys have destructive influence when you invest in the United States in the media and education. So I suggest, based on what Monkey said, I suggested that if there's any investment by these countries, there needs to be a law that they could invest in anything that is not media or education, including social media. They shouldn't be able to invest in social media because they use that soft power to basically spread their toxic ideas into the United States, and we don't want that, right? Investments are good, but the values of your that makes your country great are more important than even the human capital is the most important capital, and toxic ideas destroy the human capital of a society, which is its most important resource, right? Trump also noted that Persian Gulf, they keep saying Gulf, Persian Gulf countries would instead pump money into American factories and manufacturing. This is his quote. He's saying the Gulf states, again, meaning Persian Gulf states, are going to invest a tremendous amount of money into the United States. And that was very satisfactory to me. I think actually. I think it's actually much better. Honestly, I don't think this is a good deal. I think the United States needs to be compensated for the security that they're providing, but not with words. These are just empty words, and you shouldn't be trusting these Arab countries. You should never trust their words. Uh, but again, the compensation should not be in the form of a toll, because that will set the precedent that America has now put a stamp of approval of collecting tolls at natural waterways. And that is not good, because then China will jump on that bandwagon and be like, oh, okay, is this what we could do now? And they will might use this as a way to try to do this with the Strait of Malacca. We don't want the United States normalizing this. So I'm glad that President Trump did a reversal on that. Anyways, let's see. I talk too much. Let's see what you guys have to say.
Okay, up first to respond is Noah. Noah, please remember about 1 minute. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be enforceable either, and I'm glad he President Trump dropped it. I also don't think that insurance companies would insure ships who had insured these ships as well. So um, I'm overall glad that um, he dropped it and instead putting having Persian Gulf countries put money into an investment fund. It's not perfect, but it's much better than putting a toll on an international waterway. That should not be the norm.
Okay, next up, Halda.
Hi. I think that Trump was throwing that out there just for manipulation purposes. I don't think that he ever planned on charging. I think he was simply trying to get responses from, you know, specifically the IRGC and the regime, just to kind of fuel the fire. That's it.
It fits the bill. Okay, next up, we have Monkey.
Here's what I think. I think Halda's absolutely right about that, but also I think everyone in the media that's saying maybe we should pay a toll. Now that Trump says that we should have a toll, everybody says tolls are terrible. Then he could go say, "Oh, you guys agree with me? Tolls are terrible. Fine, we're going to take away the toll. Thank you for agreeing me. Tolls are terrible. We hate tolls. Now that I said that there's a toll, everyone hates the toll, so let's go to that." This also happened when he said Tylenol was bad for pregnancy and a whole bunch of crazy people started taking crazy amounts of medicine. Like, there are a lot of contrarians that get baited by Trump into going the opposite. And then when he flips, well, I thought you said this was a bad thing. I thought they get caught in their own rhetoric because they're so reactionary and contrarian. That's what I would say about that. That has an effect in the Gulf, but it also in the Persian Gulf, but it also has an effect over here that I think is kind of funny.
Okay, up next, we have Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that the idea of a toll is actually, or I mean, I don't know about a toll. You have to pay the United States for the services we're providing. mean, a day of free riding underneath the U.S. security umbrella for like with nothing, and then on top of it, you just bitch, whine, moan, and complain about it. That's all done. The reason why you've seen a reversal is because you had a couple of key elements that are tied to this ANCAP bullshit, right? Inside the United States, you had people try to make a friggly ass legalist argument. Well, but like you can't, this is like what it says on a piece of paper. The relevance regarding perceptions of legitimacy is directly correlated to the relative position of power between the perceiver and the perceivee. While it's true that might doesn't make right, right also doesn't make might. The world operates around power. We are the most benevolent system leader in the recorded human history. That does not mean, and it has tragically translated into people free riding under our security umbrella and taking advantage of our, good nature. Outside, you had backlashes from like Gulf countries and the rest of it. You have to sit there and pay your bills. Same with NATO. Same with NATO. You pay your bills, and not all of NATO screwed us, right? Central and Eastern European countries, they have our back just like they had our back in Iran. To pay your bills. I agree with why Donald did it. I just, there's too many whores, frauds, and liars for the moment that sit there, and a lot of exogenous actors that don't want, they want to go back to the good old days where America just pays all their fucking shit and they get to bitch, whine, moan, and complain. That's going to come to an end real soon.
Okay, Armin, we are ready to move on to super chats.
Right. By the way, BT, if you have a list of what the one topics are, I would, if it's not too much to ask, I would be grateful. And also, by the way, guys, yes, United States needs to be compensated for the nobody, like too many countries are leeching off of U.S.'s military, and there needs to be a way for United States to get something in return for what they're doing. However, it shouldn't be in the form of a fee, in my opinion, through. For ships going through a natural waterway. That will set a dangerous precedent that is not good for the United States. I think the best way for the United States to get compensated in one way is, first of all, I mean, the minimum should be that these countries should just stop effing around and get into the Abrahamic Accords. Like that should be the minimum. That should be the minimum. But there needs to be a lot more. But yeah, setting a precedent for anything requiring ships going through the Strait of Hormuz is going to. I mean, President Trump actually agrees with this. President Trump came out and explained. He himself says that we're not going to. He disagrees with fees being charged. That was his direct quote, saying that I'm against fees being charged. That was exactly his words. So I'm basically agreeing with President Trump on this one, I think. But yeah, let's go through the super chats. Yoshi, thank you so much for the super chat, saying, American here. Can we wrap this up so I can drive my diesel truck and drink some ranch? Okay. That's good. Wow. Okay. Very American of you. Yes. So, well, sorry, we're on it. We're on it. Okay. Yoshi, just give us, we'll get back to it. So thank you so much for the reminder. Fine Straws, thank you so much for the super chat, saying BT for president. Wow. There you go. There you go. And also Armin for vice president. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Wow, great ticket. Okay, I'll do that. We'll do that. BT, we'll be in touch regarding this. We have at least one vote. And then we have Simon with a super chat saying, Yay, Motor Pool Grease Monkey, you are awesome. Monkey, this was for you.
Appreciate that.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.